Hi, Reverend Dr. Kenn Gordon, spiritual leader for Centers for Spiritual Living. We're just now moving into our September themes for 2016 based on our principles and our values. And we start off on September 4th, which is really prepared and put together for us by Reverend Michelle Sinegal from Baltimore, the Spiritual Empowerment Center, which is a CSL church. Her expression is being in service to others is an expression of love. And Ernest Holmes says service is the keynote to success and implies constructive work, also loyalty to your work and to all concerned in it. He says on page 459 of the Science of Mind textbook, the two great commandments are to love God and our brother man. Love is a complete unity with life, and we cannot enter this state unless we're in unity with all that lives. For all life is one. He also wrote, Science of Mind is intensely practical because it teaches us how to use mind principle for definite purposes, such as helping those who are sick, impoverished, or unhappy. And love is self-givingness through creation, the impartation of the divine through the human. The next week that we're doing is done by Reverend Dr. Peggy Price, who's the emeritus minister at Huntington Beach, California. And Peggy writes towards the principle of the global vision, which is service to the world. And this would be September 11th that we enter into. And we see our communities as being meaningfully involved with service to the world. We should not only pray, we should act, each contributing the best he has or she has to the common purpose, each willing to make any sacrifice necessary. Not a sacrifice reluctantly made, but as one who offers all they have for two great purposes. One, in a certain sense, is a selfish one, for we all desire self-preservation. But the other in the greater sense that there can be no individual self-preservation without the preservation of all. If anything at all would mean anything at this time of our lives and this time that we're moving through in our society today, it has to be that it's time for us to move into social action. It's time for us to take a stand and actually begin applying the principles that we know so well into the world around us. Dr. Holmes asked us to do it. Back in 1927-28, he knew that that was necessary. And as we move forward with this idea of the service and having our communities be a place and a home for service, then we certainly can awaken to the idea that it's time that we adjust and change and move forward with it. September 18th is by Reverend Kat DePalma from Orlando, Florida. And she writes towards a new light is coming into the world. The global vision is service to the world. And she writes, our ultimate reality, we are infinite beings living in an infinite universe. All of life is supported wherever they are. The divine presence is forever moving forward. We are unique, individualized expressions in the physical world. Dr. Holmes wrote on page 60, paragraph 3 of the Science of Mind text, a new light is coming into this world. We're on the borderland of a new experience. The veil between spirit and matter is very thin. The invisible passes into invisibility through our faith in it. A new science, a new religion, and a new philosophy are rapidly being developed. This is in line with the evolution of the Great Presence, and nothing can hinder its progress. It's useless as well as foolish to make any attempts to cover up this principle or to hold it as a vested right of any religion, sect, or order. The truth will out, the Spirit will make itself known, and happy are we if we see these things which, from the foundation of the human race, have been longed for by all aspiring souls. He goes on page 345 of the Science of Mind to say, it's interesting that light should come with an expansion of consciousness. The light shines in the darkness, and the darkness comprehended it not. We all, in varying degrees, enter into this sense, into this illumination, and all people have sensed that truth is light. If a spiritual treatment could be seen, and a spiritual treatment merely means the mind unifying with good, it would be seen as a pathway of light. This light is not created, it's not psychological explosion, it's something which pre-exists. And it's useless to try to visualize it or make it appear. It's not a trick of concentration. The kingdom of heaven cometh not by observation. It's interesting that we move into this particular segment at this time in our society and in our history, when we see the evolution of what is happening in the world around us. And sometimes it shows up in such a tragic manner. It shows up in nightclub bombings or shootings. It shows up in people driving trucks through fairgrounds in Nice. It shows up with the prejudice and the racism that we see in the world that's being highlighted now by the new media and ways to be able to recognize it. And all of it is a predecessor for the light itself. That light to shine and to come forth. Not so that we can create it. It's not that we're creating it. What's happening is this is moving all of the fog away from us so that we're awakening to what's already present and already there. Our final September contribution is from Dr. Barbara Leger, who's the founding minister from Ukraine. And she is talking the service to the world as well. And she's talking for September 25th. And her theme is, we see our organization as a global community that embraces peace, love, and compassion. We see our organization as that. Our organization is really the collection of the collective consciousness of who we are. To be able to apply and to be able to put it into activity in the world around us. To operate as that one mind so that we have the potential to be able to stir and move the masses through our own consciousness and our own belief. Dr. Barbara says, the kingdom of heaven is at hand. We've allowed ourselves to become blinded to the essential spiritual truth by allowing thoughts to form beliefs of separation and fear, and that propagates itself, and we call those things facts of life. But Barbara goes on to say, it's not the essential facts of life, but rather it's that we don't see life rightly, for we've become afraid. Allowing the collective race consciousness to impregnate our belief system, and we give birth, of course, to hatred, war, and separation. But this can be changed by the choice to turn away from the false beliefs and the focus of conditions and turn instead to the light of truth. The truth that is a golden thread through all spiritual and wisdom traditions. We are one with the one, and at the heart of this one life, power, presence, love, infinite reality, and energy is peace. We have choice, and when one makes a choice aligned in the nature and flow of life, then that duplicates the nature of life. So it has creative power and is felt throughout the entire system of life. We have a responsibility to circulate the good. We have the responsibility together to create our world as it is and together restore it to wellness, prosperity, and peace. Dr. Holmes says, the peace that is within you is not something separate from life. It's not something that bombards you from without. The peace is something that expands from within. And always this peace has been in you. Always this peace has nestled at the center of your being, ready to reveal its perfection and its harmony. Peace stands at the door of your consciousness and awaits your acceptance of it. A conscious knowledge of this peace, coupled with a definite use of the law of mind, gives to each the possibility of freedom from the bondage of doubt, fear, and uncertainty. That comes from Living the Science of Mind, page 127. I thank you so much for participating in this. This is a magnificent thing that we are doing, bringing that collective consciousness together for the purpose of being able to recognize the light that is ever present, the light that flows not only to us but from us. It flows through us as these beings of greatness as we awaken and set forward in an intention to be able to live a life well lived and to share it with everyone and to remember that what we do to others is the same thing as we do to ourselves. There is only one. God bless you. Thank you.